Welcome back. Second Opinion Society. This is episode 3 now. And I could tell by just like the way I didn't care about what I was wearing and the fact that I'm not wearing shoes right now, which in the first 2 episodes I wore shoes, that I'm like getting a little more comfortable. I'm just having this be a little place of like rest, relaxation, dare I say, But when like you get a text message and it kind of just like ruins your mood and ruins your day. And last week we talked about anxiety and it made me feel anxious, but it's okay. I'm trying to like forget about it. And after I finish a sentence, it's going to go out of my mind because I'm going to be talking about so many other things and who even cares about that. But I'm just like, seriously, why they have to text me right before I press record? How rude. How rude. Anyways, so I'm surprised, honestly, that it's taken us 3 episodes to get to just reality TV because I am obsessed with reality TV, specifically Bravo. Oh darn it. I didn't bring my water. My water is like on the floor. If only y'all knew like all the stuff that I did to set up this damn podcast every week. Like my house is in disarray every week. And this is my nightstand and I haven't had my nightstand next to my bed since I started the podcast because like too difficult to like move it back and forth each week. So I kind of just like kept it in here, and it's kind of nice to have like a little stand to put the remote on because this is now my TV watching chair because it's like right in front of the TV. And I love this chair and I didn't sit in this chair enough before. So my house is in disarray, but it's okay. It's all for the pod, you know? All for me to talk for people that want to listen. Anyways, reality TV. So I'm really into Bravo. My reality TV love in like adulthood, at least, because I watched The Bachelorette and The Bachelor as a kid with my mom. It was like so fun. My mom's like really into 90 Day Fiance. So used to have that playing in the kitchen while we would eat dinner, like in the background. And my adulthood entrance into reality TV was Vanderpump Rules. And if you haven't watched Vanderpump Rules, I swear you really need to because it is like the messiest, craziest group of people and they all are like hooking up with each other. It's crazy. Okay. That's number 1. I watched like 3 seasons of that and then like Andrew, my boyfriend, started like peeping his eye in and then he was hooked too. So then I couldn't watch it without him. But from there, I was like, oh my God, who owns Vanderpump? Like, no, who is Vanderpump? Who owns Sir? Like the whole premise of Vanderpump Rules, Lisa Vanderpump, she was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So that naturally led me to watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It gave me like a very different view of Lisa Vanderpump, which was interesting, but they are like also interesting and I loved it. So I got caught up with Beverly Hills, which is a task. Let me tell you, it took me forever of like binge watching because I think it's like 13 seasons or something. And it took me forever. And then finally I was like, okay, what housewife am I going to go to next? Because I need another housewife. I need to be cultured. So many podcasts that I listen to are like millennials, so like 30s, 40s, whatever. And they know about all of the Real Housewives like franchises because they watched it in real time. So I feel like I'm behind trying to catch up and trying to understand the lore and the insiders and the jokes. So I decided my next step would be Salt Lake City. A, because it doesn't have too many seasons out, and B, the current season would pop up on my TikTok all the time. And apparently it's a really good one because somebody gets arrested. I just watched somebody get a black eye. Like they are like very chaotic over there because like I don't know why, but the Mormons are crazy, at least in that show. Like they're like all like half Mormon and they don't care. Like half the time they care about Mormonism, half the time they don't. It's like really interesting to watch. So that's when I delved into. And then just me and Andrew needed another show to watch. We finished Vanderpump Rules and we were like, we want like another young show because Andrew draws the line at Real Housewives because like he's like, it's too much for me. And like I understand that because like at least with Vanderpump, there's boys and girls. What other show to watch than Summer House? Because I love Paige DeSorbo. I love Hannah Brenner. I listen to their podcast. I went to their Giggly Squad show in New Orleans a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, Andrew, what if we watch Summer House? Like, I feel like it'd be so fun. So we are on like season like 6, I think, of Summer House. And we just watched the first season of Winter House as well. So good, you guys. Like, it's literally just like 30-year-olds, like 25 to 30. Some of them are getting old now. Like, I think one just like touched 40, like current day. But so interesting because they're all just like in a house. They're all like going out, having fun, partying. You see them like a little bit of their New York life. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Speaking of New York, the New York influencer drama, I'm really just like interested in because I, for one, am a very small influencer, and I am an influencer that's actually, I'm just like a person that's very basic. And like these New York City influencers are being like, not canceled, but like kind of canceled for being like basic and just like everyone else. But the thing is, like, obviously that's what everyone wants to see because those are the biggest influencers in New York. You know what I mean? And I am somebody that I was like such a basic person in college, actually my whole life pretty much, to where one time this guy was like, if I searched basic sorority girl on Google, your picture would come up. And I was like, thank you for that. These New York City influencers are being canceled because they're basic. But the thing about it is, basic equals influencer. Like, no like niche, very stylish, out of the box influencer goes really crazy because it doesn't appeal to everyone. They have like a niche. You know what I mean? So like all these people that like I love to follow because they're super stylish, they don't have a large following. I think they should have more following, but they don't have a large following because they post to a very small group of people that this would be their style. You know what I mean? There's a reason that these quote unquote basic influencers have these large followings because it appeals to so many people that have just like a normal style. Does that make sense? That's how I've been thinking of it, at least. Like, not everyone wants to follow me because I post very much just like I post fashion stuff, but I also just post everything about my life. And not a lot of people can relate to that like fully. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think it's weird. Also, I don't think they handled it correctly. Whoever their PR firms are need to probably be fired because the way to handle a video that doesn't even go viral, it maybe got like when I saw it for the first time, it had like a couple thousand likes, and that was before any influencer respond responded to it. And the influencers like were literally like duetting and tagging this girl and giving the platform a stage and basically saying, hey, I'm guilty, you're talking about me. Hello, that's stupid. So I think that is where they messed up. And also, they obviously influence people because people follow them. So that's my spiel on that. Oh, anyways, I am doing this episode uncaffeinated, which is my first time uncaffeinatingly podcasting. And so I'm a little nervous. Also, it doesn't help that, like I said, I'm having a little bit of anxiety today. So really just all the cards are stacked against me. But it's okay. We're here and we're living and we're thriving. Also, what do you guys think about the audio? Because I fear that I have like a blind ear and I can't hear it properly because I'm just finding like literally every imperfection with it. Like, for example, and I hope this doesn't like make you think about it now, but I feel like you could hear my breaths more than you could hear other podcasters' breaths on their podcast. Maybe it's just because like I'm hearing myself, but I was trying to ask my boyfriend like, hey, do you think it's bad? And he was like, I don't know. So I'm asking you guys also, first episode that I posted, I think I had the audio recording like too loud. So it was kind of like blaring. And then second episode I posted, all of my P's were like very poppy. And so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I didn't change anything from last week other than like a little bit of the mic placement. But like I didn't edit any settings or anything. So like let me know because I'm stressed. I just want the audio to be good and I'm like, you know. But another thing, I feel like I'm complaining a lot today. It's okay. Hopefully you stay for it. But I've been on Ozempic for a couple weeks now. Like I've been on just like such a journey in these past couple months with like my weight loss and everything that I'm like so over it because basically I started off, I mean, should I just weight drop here? We don't care. This is a safe place. So all those years ago like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I first started Ozempic, I was 250 pounds. That was the most I've ever weighed in my life. I was so unconfident, uncomfortable in my body, couldn't fit anything. It was just like a terrible time, truly. Like not even because of the weight, but everything in my life was going wrong. And I was overweight and like I hated how I looked. I hated how I felt. Like I could hardly get out of bed in the day because I had so little energy because I was just like terrible. So I got on Ozempic for, I think it was like 8 months and I lost 50 pounds. It was great. I stayed off of it for a couple months. I think like maybe 4 or 5 months I stayed off of it and I maintained that weight pretty well. I fluctuated like 5-10 pounds here and there, but I stayed on goal of like 200 pounds. Okay. But I always knew I wanted to get back on Ozempic to lose that last like 10-15 pounds that I wanted to. Like I wanted to get to like 280 at the bottom. No, 280. 180 at the bottom, but like 190 would also be good because I felt great at 200. Like I didn't think I would, but like I felt really good at 200 too. So, um I maintained my weight all this time, and then I got back on Ozempic to lose that last like 10, 15, 20 pounds. And that's around the time that my friend passed away. And I just couldn't like fathom like taking the medicine. Like my mental was just like so low. I could barely get out of bed every day. So like I think that was like the closest to like actual depression I've been, to where remembering or even like having the energy to take a shot was not on the game plan. So I very much so am an emotional eater, so I ate a lot during that time. I wasn't taking the Ozempic. If I did, I would take it 1 week, forget the next week. It was a mess. I was a mess. I'm still a mess because literally, I'll get to that. But I basically am like stuck at 220 like since then, because I gained that 20 pounds back once my friend passed away. I'm stuck at 220 since then, and I'm like, oh, this is just like, I know this is not where I feel my best. Like I'm running and everything, and I still feel like so blah and like dragging. And I've been on Ozempic now, I think for 3 weeks straight. I can't even like tell you that for certain because I've been so all over the place and mentally. Like I took my shot last week and like looked back on my calendar, and it said it had been like 2 weeks since I took the shot before, but I thought I took it before. Like I'm just like a mess. And so I'm trying really hard to get back into that routine, get back into eating healthy, get back into taking the shots regularly. But a mess. A mess. And so I'm at 220 right now. God, look at me weight dropping. That's how you know I'm like pretty comfortable with myself, because I'm actually weight dropping, and I would never do that before. I don't even know if I ever did that before. Hello. She's just so vulnerable, you know? I'm just so real. I'm just a real influencer. Anyways, so that's my weight loss thing right now. I don't know. I'm just trying to be happy where I'm at, but at the same time, I know I don't feel my best where I'm at. So I'm trying to get to a better place, but who knows? It comes with time, you know? I guess let's get into our stories. Okay. So I don't think there's like a specific theme about our stories today. I did 3 because that's been the magical number, because I'm guessing this episode will be a little shorter this week though, because of the fact that I'm not really in the mood right now. But who knows? Who knows once we get into the advice. So our first story is from, I don't know, because I don't know who of any of these people write in the stories, but I will say some of you guys are using my Google Forms write-in the wrong way. You're not writing in for advice. You're writing in to like say something that you don't want me to know that it came from you. And I'm on to you. I'm on to you because I've had a couple people do that. And I've had a couple people say little messages that they are hiding behind my Google form. I see you. I see you. And you're using it in the wrong way. And guess what? I'm not answering. So, whatever. Okay, let's start. Hey, Emily, I'm looking for advice about a possible career shift. I've had the same big girl job as an insurance agent since I graduated from college in 2021. I learned during that first job hunt that I had fumbled the bag during my time in school by not stepping out of my comfort zone and applying for internships in the fields I'm most interested in. And she put in parentheses, copywriting, PR, etc. I thought my communications degree would be enough to land me a good and interesting career that I could be passionate about, but I quickly discovered that wasn't the case. I accepted the job I now have after a few months of searching, and I've been here ever since. And let's be real, insurance in Louisiana and pretty much all the Gulf states is a shit show. I won't go into details here, just know that it is not a happy or fun industry to be in. I make an okay salary, but not enough to really be comfortable. A couple years ago, when I was looking to make extra cash and fill a creative gap in my life, I landed a part-time job writing for an online women's magazine. I've been loving it. It's flexible and offers a lot of autonomy. I would love to explore the possibilities of diving deeper into that creative path, but I have so many reservations. The first of which being that copywriters are quickly being replaced by AI. Second, as the economy struggles, companies who would otherwise be willing to pay for a human copywriter are now having to shave off positions that are not totally essential to their operations. This applies to freelancers on retainer as well. Copywriting, along with PR and marketing, are some of the first positions to be cut when times are hard. I don't want to abandon my job security just to be laid off in a year. Also, I fear that if I get a writing job, I'd be in the same boat financially or worse. I can't really afford to have a pay cut these days, and despite how much I dislike my current job, at least it's stable. I fear that it's not the right time to take the leap despite how unhappy I am at work every day. Do you have some insight on how I should approach the situation? Are there any steps you suggest for pursuing a more creative and fulfilling career? Okay, lots to unpack here. Our person we're talking about works in insurance, but she wants to be in more communications, creative, PR role. And she got an insurance because she needed a job. So I'll first start off by saying, we know I'm moving to Austin. I talked about this. So I started applying this week officially to jobs in Austin, like full-time jobs in marketing or in something that is related to whatever I have expertise in, like, what do you call that? Experience in. So I applied to my first job on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, Wednesday. I was so excited. I was like, you guys, like I told all my coworkers, I was like, oh my God, you guys, I applied to my first full-time job. Yay. I told my friends I applied to my first full-time job. Yay. And then I wake up Thursday morning to a rejection email. Not even 24 hours after I applied to this job, I got a rejection email. And I was like, okay, this is going to be really fun. This is going to be so exciting. So I understand having and loving the security blanket of having that job, because I am kind of in the boat to where I'm going to have to possibly accept a job that I don't want to do and I'm not interested in, just to be able to pay the bills at first. Now, I don't think you said how long you've been working this job. Oh, wait. Yes, you so did. You said since 2021. That's a while to be working a job that you still don't like. And I know I've gone on this spiel a couple times, but you were so young. This person is 25, by the way. That's another reason that I ask for the age when I have my write-ins, because if this person was like 35, it might be a little different if they had kids and everything. But this person's 25. You have the rest of your 20s. I am like literally living by the rule of my 20s are my time to mess up. My 20s are my time to explore different things, to move to a different city, even though I have no money, to try this job, try that job. My 20s are my time to mess up because I have my 30s to fix it before life gets like really serious, you know? So that's my first thing is like, you're 25. Let's say this is a scenario. You have this job. Let's say you buckle down for the next 6 months. So what's 6 months from now? What is this month? March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay, that's a good timeline. So let's say you literally buckle down until August. I hate to say it, but if you go to a social event, you're not spending money. You go to free things. You find things to do that are free. You go to work every day. You work as hard as you can. You get that paycheck and you put majority of it into savings. Like you literally live below your means to the max, okay? And you build up your savings to where if things went wrong, you could live on that for 3 months. Figure out how much money you need to live on for 3 months, 6 months if like we're really going crazy, but 3 months is like logical. And save these next 6 months. I know you said like you can't really live comfortably on the paycheck you have now, but live below your means. Like budget dinners, budget food, don't go out as much. If you go out, don't drink. Like really work on yourself these next couple months and save money. That's what I've literally had to do for the past like 3 years because I've had no money. And focus on saving. Literally put all of your efforts into saving so that in 6 months you could put in that 2 weeks resignation and go full time doing what you want, doing what creatively fulfills you, doing what you love. And you have that little cushion of that savings, okay? Now, with the career shift and going to what you love and going to what you really want to do, the worst that could happen is you look back 10, 20 years down the line and you joke, oh my God, remember when I was so broke because I wanted to be a creative writer full time? But I'm so glad I did it because I loved those times. And it taught me this, and this. It showed me this, and this. Like, truthfully, if you have like the money to like support you if everything goes wrong, I literally don't see the downside in this because what's the worst that can happen? It works out. It works out and you can say you have a job that you love and you say you can have a career that you love and you get to be a PR manager or a creative writer or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, life is just way too short to be working a job that you hate. And some people think of it in a way that like you work your 9 to 5 that you hate to live the rest of your life. But like, I am a very much person that I thrive off of like every little part of my life. So if I hate what I'm doing for 90, well, okay, what's the percentage? So there's 24 hours in a day. You work 8 hours in a day. Let's say like 40% of your day. this is soft math, okay? 40% of your day you hate. You hate. 40% of your day you hate. 20% of your day is spent sleeping. 4 plus 2, 4, 5, 6. And then, wait. And then let's say the other 40% you could choose what you're doing. And that's probably generous. That's probably very generous because who knows what you're doing before work, and that takes up time because you're probably just getting ready for work. Let's say 50% of your day you hate. Okay? I can't decide. 50% of your day you hate. That means 50% of your life you hate. And I'm a person that really goes on vibes. And if I hate 50% of my day, I'm going to hate the other 50% of my day. You know? And I'm going to be mad that other 50% recovering from that 50% that I hated. And that is not how I personally could live. Some people great at departmentalizing and departmentalizing. You know what I mean? And separating the hate and the love. But I can't do that. And I don't think you could do that either because you hate this job and it's obviously really affecting you. Now, let's say the next 6 months while you're saving, you really keep diving in that freelance, maybe you accept more little freelance because you have more time because maybe you aren't going to as many social events. And you really just spend that next 6 months changing your life to prepare for your future. I think it would do a wondrous, glorious thing for you. You know, I think it would be very, very good for you. I think all those reservations you have about AI taking it over and losing a job and job security, honestly, that comes with any job. I know like insurance is probably like they don't have a high turnover rate because it's so black and white, I guess you could say. But like that's going to come with any job that's worth working and that's worth living, you know? And creative writers, from what I understand, don't make a lot, but is not making a lot worth your happiness? I think so. I am very much in the place of I'm applying to all these full-time jobs and I already got just rejected from one, but I'm applying to jobs that I could see myself being happy in because money does not mean everything. If you have enough to live on, not even live lavishly, if you have just enough to live like comfortably enough. I don't know what I'm saying. Ooh, what was that? My like headphones just came on. Wait, what is going on? Hello? Oh my God, my headphones haven't been plugged in this whole time. I hope that didn't affect like the audio. Ugh, this is so stressful. But I hope that that's helpful in the fact that I really think you should take the leap. I think you should use a couple months, figure your shit out, and then take the leap because why are you even living a life that if you're not happy with it? You know, like you work so hard, you got this degree to work a job forever that you hate. When you're 50 years old, that's young. When you're 80 years old, 90 years old, could be on your deathbed, you're not going to look back and be like, thank God I stayed with the safe route of working in insurance my whole life and I hated it. Nobody's going to say that. You're not going to say that. You know, you're going to say, thank God I took that leap of faith. And even if I failed at it, and even if I had to go back to insurance, at least I know that it failed and it didn't work out. At least I know. And at least I know that I was brave enough to take that step to make myself happy in life. You know? So that's my spiel on that. Let me just make sure I got all your points. She did say, are there any steps you suggest for pursuing a more creative and fulfilling career? Well, the 6-month thing, obviously. But just start networking. You never know where a job will come up. Like I've truly been using my year in MBA school to network and to meet people and to talk to anybody and everybody because you never know when somebody's going to have a random tie to someone or something that could get you that job, that could get you your dream job, that could get you in a PR agency, you know? So I hope that's helpful and I hope I wasn't just blabbering because I really think that if you took that leap of faith, you would not regret it. But have a financial cushion behind you. That's my biggest tip because if you don't, it could make things a lot more stressful and you won't be in a position to where you could say no to things because a position that I really dream to be in when job searching is a position to say no, a position to say, this job is not good for me. I don't need to take it because I'm not that desperate. You know, I'm not desperately needing money to live on, to eat on. And unfortunately, a lot of people are in that situation and it sucks because they end up taking a job that's not good for them or that doesn't value them or doesn't pay them enough. And it's a really sad realization that a lot of people have. So if you have that financial cushion, it could allow you to be a little more selective and a little more calculated and you don't have to take anything that comes your way, you know? So that's that on that. First story done. Hopefully that helped. Yeah. We're off to story 2. Woohoo! Yay! okay. We're rocking and rolling. I don't even know what time I'm at because I forgot to change. Because basically, does this mic need to be closer? Because basically, I use GarageBand to record, and unless I turn it to like the setting where it shows time, it shows like beats or something. So like the number on it right now is 876, and I don't think that means seconds. Because like I changed it last time I recorded to where I could know like what number I was at, and it didn't work. So whatever, whatever. Okay, this one's a short one. But I have like a lot of good insight on it. So let's get into it. I wonder how many of you live with your boyfriends or significant others if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you know? Because this one's about that. This person is 22, by the way. I feel like that helps with context. About to graduate college in December and planning on moving in with my boyfriend full time. We jumped from my house and his house during the week with some advice for moving in with him. Love your content. Thanks. So let's get into it. I'm going to obviously tell my personal story with this because I don't know if y'all know, but I've been living with my boyfriend for going on 3 years now. And we've been dating a little over 3 years, but it's a little more complex than that. So basically, hopefully you could find knowledge from this story, you know? Basically, I met my boyfriend working at La Coretta, and we both worked at La Coretta. I was a bartender, he was a server, and we didn't have a lot of turnover at the restaurant. Like our group was like our group. Like we all were best friends. We all went out together. It was like really fun. And I was on vacation and over the summer and this new guy started and it was like really weird. Like anytime someone new started, it was like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I'm using this to just tell my whole love story. Okay. So hope y'all don't mind. And everyone was like saying like, oh my God, Emily, you haven't met the new guy. You haven't met the new guy because I went on vacation and the week I got back, he went on vacation. And so everyone was like, oh my God, you haven't met the new guy yet? Like everyone's met him. We all love him. Like blah, blah, blah. We think you would get along with him well. And so I was like, okay, cool. Stalked his groupie picture, but he looks kind of like weird. It was like an old picture. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know if this is not a love interest. This is going to be a friend. And so I got back and we both were working the same shift one day. And I walked up to him and I was like, oh my God, everyone says we're going to be great friends. And he was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay. And then literally from that day on, I'm not kidding you, we were obsessed with each other. We were best friends. We hung out every day. He lived like 45 minutes away at the time from the restaurant. So he would sleep at my house a lot, like on the couch. One time he slept like on my floor. Like it was very just, he needed a place to stay. We were working a lot. Like that was the summer where I was serving probably like over 50 hours a week while owning my store too. So it was a lot, but I was making the money. So we were working a lot, blah, blah, blah. We hung out every single day for like 3 months. And there was like times where it went through my head where I was like, do I like this guy or like, am I just bored? That was a big thing. Do I like him or am I bored? And I chalked it up to I'm bored. I don't like him. He's my friend. We've never even like hugged, like very platonic. Everyone at work thought we were like a thing, but like we were like, no, like we're just friends. And we really were. And then on my 21st birthday, leading up to my 21st birthday, things started to like happen where I was like, we would be like giggling and like make prolonged eye contact and be like, wait, why did I feel something? Why did I feel a spark? But things like that kept happening. And so I was like, do I like this guy? Like, why do I like this guy? He's my friend. Like, we're very platonic. He's my friend. Why am I kind of crushing on him? And he like, I always thought he was cute, but like, you could think your friends are cute, you know? So I got to my 21st birthday and we basically started dating then, like just out of nowheres. And we've been dating ever since. And so after that, that was in October. And October to whenever you start looking for apartments for like the next school year, me and my sister were looking. We were looking for 2-bedroom apartments. And me and Andrew were like doing great. But he was going study abroad for 6 months. And we basically were like, okay, we really like each other, but we're going to date until you leave because like it's going to be really hard to do long distance because he was going back and forth between a year and 6 months. And like the year would have definitely been impossible, but the 6 months, like I don't think either of us wanted to do. And so we were like, okay, we're going to date till you move. Okay. That was the plan. Obviously that didn't work out because we were very much more obsessed with each other than I think either of us really actually knew. And so we ended up staying together while he moved to Europe. But me and my sister were looking for apartments. 2 bedrooms are kind of expensive for like Baton Rouge. And so 3 bedrooms were like a lot more cheaper, like literally hardly even more expensive than a 2 bedroom. And so I was like, and my boyfriend at the time was looking for a place to keep his stuff while he was in Europe, because he was like, I need a lease to where I could keep my stuff there for 6 months and then I'll live in it for the other 6 months. And I was like, okay, well, hypothetically, what if me and my sister got a 3-bedroom? You kept your stuff there. We technically wouldn't be moving in together because it technically would be your stuff. I was trying to make myself feel better because I knew my parents weren't going to be happy about this. And so I was like, you technically keep your stuff there for the 6 months. You could pay a cheaper rent because me and my sister would be paying all this money for a 2-bedroom anyway. So like you could just pay the difference of like what we'd be paying and a little cheaper. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh yeah. And then we could just like live together the rest of the 6 months. And I was like, yeah, perfect. Right. And everyone that had like their frontal lobe developed in our lives was like, hey, by the way, y'all have only been dating for a couple months. Y'all are going to be doing long distance for 6 months. And he's going to come back and live with you. Like, what happens if it doesn't work out? And we were like, no, it's going to work out. What do you mean? How could it possibly not work out? Thank God it did. And thank God, like, we actually ended up being like soulmates and it did work out, because basically the timeline of the lease was he lived with us for like, I would say like a month and a half to 2 months. So we were like all 3 roommates. Then he went away for 6 months. And then we lived together for like 5 months after that, I would say. And it went so great. The only problem was that it's really hard to live with your sister as an adult, because we fought a lot, me and my sister, and Andrew would like go lock himself in the room when me and my sister were fighting. Cause like, it's just sister things. Like if you don't have a sister, you don't understand like how low sisters can go. You know, I did some pretty crazy shit that year when we lived together, cause it's just really hard. We hadn't lived together since we were children, and we decided that we love each other a lot more when we don't live together. So that left us in the position of my sister going find someplace to live, and me and Andrew were like, okay, well, like, we already live together. Do we just keep living together? And it hardly was even a question. We were like, duh. So we moved into the house we have now. We're here on like going on year 2. June will make 2 years in this house. June will also make 3 years officially living together. So it's been great. But I think living with a boy is just like a learning curve. Okay. So let me go back to your question. Now that I'm done my story of like me and my boyfriend living together, I feel like we needed that for context. So she graduates in December and is planning to move in with her boyfriend full time. They jump from house to house during the week, and she wants advice on moving in with them. First of all, I love living with my boyfriend over roommates. Like I'm obsessed with living with my boyfriend, especially when life gets busy. It's very easy to have quality time together because you're leaving the same place in the morning and you're coming back to the same place at night, you know? And so you have that quality time. It's amazing. I truly love living with my boyfriend. But a thing that I would really think about before moving in with them is, I don't know if you mean like into his place or just in with him in general, but I highly, highly, highly would suggest, if you want to move in with your boyfriend, especially for the first time, you need to move to like a neutral third party location. Like if he moved in with you, if you moved in with him, like in the place that you're currently living, it makes it a lot harder, because it almost feels like to the person that's new to the place that you're a guest in someone else's home. And you already have all your stuff set up. So it's hard to like move things around. It's hard to feel comfortable when you aren't both like coming together into a place and making it your own. I think that's one of the things that really helped me and Andrew, is that the first time we lived together, and obviously before we lived together too, we were doing that where like he would basically spend every night at my house. So it was like, why not live together? But it's very important to have that place that you build together so that both of you feel like it's yours, not like mine. You know, so I feel like that's a good tip, is to try to move to like a third party location. Obviously, if like you own a place or if you have a really good deal, it's a little different. So try to make that place, like reset it, move the furniture around, redecorate some stuff, and really try to like reset it to where it feels new, to where it feels like it's both of yours. I feel like that's like a really big mental thing. So next on the list is living with a boy. So Andrew, I'm very lucky. He puts up with a lot of my shit. So when he lived with me and my sister, we had hot pink curtains, fun couches, fun little college girl signs, and he never said a thing. He had his stuff in his room and he was like so cool with that. And I think that helped a lot with like me being a girly girl control freak and wanting things like, ooh, cutesy girly. It helped a lot. But now that we're like getting to a point where we are moving to our third place of living together, he was even cool with it here. Like I toned it down a little bit. I took the pink curtains away. There's still a lot of girly stuff, but there's pictures of us up on the walls. Like he loves like also like stuff that I love. So like this painting, he didn't have a problem with because he was like, it's so cool, you know? So I'm very lucky in the fact that like he likes a lot of my girl stuff, which is great. But he also has boy stuff and he wants boy stuff up. And that is something that I'm really having to come to terms with and I'm really trying to understand. So I think having it be a give and take, because right now we're in a 2-bedroom. He has his room that has all his stuff. I have the bedroom that has some of my stuff, but it's like our sleeping room. And then like my decorations are obviously like around the house. So it's a good like mix, but we're looking into getting a 1-bedroom, and that's where it's going to come into the problem of like, where's his boy stuff going to go? You know, where's it going to go? Because I obviously love my girl stuff. So it has to be like a give and take. I think that's one of the biggest problems with living with your boyfriend is dealing with the boy stuff. But you love your boy, so you're going to deal with his stuff. I think that's a really good second point. For my third point, living with someone before you're married, I think is like the perfect test, because me and Andrew have like been with each other when we're at our most annoyed, when we're at our happiest, when we're at our lowest. And a lot of that is coming with like living together, and you really see how the other person lives, and you could understand if you like how the other person lives. Because if like your person is like a slob kebab, maybe that's not your person. If you're like have extreme OCD, that's another thing, is really having and making sure your person lives the same way you live is very helpful. Very, very helpful. And me and Andrew do, thankfully. So I hope that was helpful. And just hearing my story, I feel like I'm not good at answering questions today. I hope you guys don't stop listening because I'm off today. Overall, 10 out of 10, recommend living with your boyfriend. As long as you're not in a toxic relationship, as long as it's healthy, you could see yourself with this person long term. I think that's good. Muy bien. All right, our last story. I'm like not ready to be done this because I feel like I haven't done justice to the podcast today, but hopefully this is okay. Hopefully it's good. Okay. Last story, another boy issue. So basically I was dating this guy. We were pretty serious and we broke up. We both played a part. We both played a part in it. He did some things, I did some things, yada yada. We talked about what we would change and do differently. He was telling me that he isn't ruling us getting back together out of the picture, but for now we should go on our separate ways. Well, we did the no contact thing, then boom, we're in contact again. Now we are hanging out, going on dates, going on double dates. He's spending the night at my apartment and really everything a couple would do. So basically dating just without a label, and I don't know what to do. My standpoint is I love him. I want to be with him. I want us to work out. I want to talk to him about it. But in reality, I'm scared too because I'm avoiding what he is going to say because I'm scared of the response I may get. So yeah, I know this isn't every little detail, but what's the best advice you got for the situation? Thank you. So her and her boyfriend were serious. They broke up. I wonder the reason and the severity of the breakup. Like, was it like you just weren't getting along? Was it a cheating thing? Was it serious? You know, because it depends on like the severity of the breakup to where I think I could justify getting back together. So I'll just pretend this is me. Let's say I had a boyfriend. We were serious. We broke up. If he cheated on me, I don't think I could ever get back with him. That's just like a me thing personally. If he did something like huge where he like lied to me, I don't think I could ever get back with him, but that's a personal thing that I have that wall up. If it was something that's forgivable and something, I mean, you said y'all both did things, so obviously it's forgivable if y'all are talking again. So on my second point, I'm into the points today. So you said y'all talked about what you would do and change differently, but do you think the conversation was very receptive, or like did either of you get defensive? Because I think that is a big part of, can the things change? Because you talked about the things that were going to change, but were you both like, yes, I could change these things? And do you have a pattern of being able to improve when given critiques? You know, I think that's a big thing. That's my saying today. I think that's a big thing. I feel like I have a different saying every episode. Whatever. I also like saying whatever. So could you see him actually changing the things he could change? You know, could you see that actually happening? Another thing is, and this might be a hot take, if you have to work that hard for a relationship to work, I don't think it's the one. I don't think it's meant to be. You know, like somebody said this to me once and it's really stuck with me. And I don't know if y'all are like fighting or anything. I really don't know a lot, but I'm just kind of like speaking in the dark and hopefully something can resonate with somebody out there. Is if you're fighting constantly with your significant other at your prime time age, 20s, 30s, whatever it is, and you don't even have real problems yet, like you don't have kids to worry about, a mortgage, all of that, and you're fighting with your person, I don't think it's your person. I don't think it's for you. I don't think it's meant to be if you can't even like live the prime of your life happily with this person. And you know what? I could be wrong in some instances because some people might work it through and push it to the core and really fight all they have to work it out. But I don't think that's your person if you can't be happy in the prime of your life. You know what I mean? So I don't know why y'all broke up. I don't know why y'all got back together, but I would reevaluate if this is like a toxic situation you're in a I'm comfortable with this guy, so I'm going to go back to him because I feel comfort and because I'm comfortable with him. You know? And that is not a place you want to be. It's just going back because you're comfortable. Because guess what? A lot of things are comfortable in life that are not good for you. And a lot of things are comfortable in life that are good for you. And going back to like a bad relationship just because you feel comfortable and you don't want to start anew with somebody, I think that's really important too. Is like first dates are so draining and hard because you're like basically catching someone up on like your whole entire life. And so a lot of times it's easier to stay in that relationship and it's easier to just go back to what you're used to and to go back to this guy. I also think it's a really big red flag that he's saying he doesn't want to get back together. I think if he doesn't want to get back together now, he'll never want to get back together. And I know that's really harsh. And this girl actually DM'd me that she wrote in this story. So I'm picturing her face right now and like I'm feeling bad saying this. But in my experience, if a guy says, oh, I'm not ready to get back together yet, like I don't know if we should get back together, I don't think it's ever going to come. And I don't think it's ever going to come in the way that you want it to. I feel like you're going to be begging for the label for the relationship for him to be in it fully when why would he? He's used to having you like what do they say? Having your cake and eating it too? I think that's what it is. Like he's used to having you basically on girlfriend status when he's probably, let's be honest, talking to other girls, maybe doing this, maybe doing that, maybe doing another thing. And he doesn't want the relationship with you because he doesn't want to be tied down, but he's having the best of all the worlds. He's the luckiest man in the world right now, you know, because he has you. He doesn't have a label and he could do whatever he wants. So that's the pessimistic side of me because also I'm a man hater. So it doesn't help that he's a man because I see the worst in men and men that aren't my schnuckums. Ew, that was weird. But yeah, so I think if he is saying that he doesn't want to get back together right now, I think that might be a forever, you know? And y'all are hanging out, going on dates and double dates. Who are these friends that are like letting this happen to you? I feel like your friends are also a big sign. What are they saying? Are they saying, no, don't do it, he's terrible? Are they saying, yeah, he's really good for you, like try it? Because I think that's also a really important thing because your friends see right through you. Your friends see right through all the bullshit, all the problems, all the drama. Okay. So I definitely think A, listen to your friends. B, evaluate why y'all broke up and see if it's a reason that both of you can move past. C, figure out if you're just going back because you're more comfortable. And lastly, D, picture this guy and how he would treat your future kids. I know this is like so far away because his girl is 19 as well. I know this is so far away, but one of the reasons that I know Andrew is my person and like my be all end all is I truly see the future with him. I see us being wrinkly and old together. I could see so clearly him playing with our kids that we have one day because he does that with our dogs right now. Like I owned a dog before he even met me and he literally came into my life and like treated that dog as his own, you know? And then we got a dog. I got a dog while we were still dating, but it's like our dog now and treated it like its own. And like just seeing him and like how well he fits into my life and how well he fits with me truly shows me like this is my person. This is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. This is the person that I want. Like I would literally crumble and die if I didn't have him in my life. Now that I like know what I'd be missing. So like, I guess reevaluate. You're so young to where you don't have to be thinking about that stuff right now. And if you can't picture it, maybe that was terrible advice because when you're that young, you don't need to be picturing it. It's helpful if you can. But I pictured a life with many people. It was never this clear, but like I was just like so young, dumb, and delusional that I was like, oh yeah, I could see myself marrying them. No, you couldn't. You couldn't. Like, what? That's how I know Andrew's the one, because previous boyfriends that I've had before this, I would never call them Izzy's dad. Izzy's my older dog. I would never call them Izzy's dad. And like, Andrew is Izzy's dad, you know? And that's how I know that I could see a future with this man, because that is my dog's dad. So yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of self-reflection, a lot of healing, a lot of thinking. I know you say like you love him, you want to be with him, you want y'all to work out, but I think you really just need to reevaluate and evaluate who this man is, what he is to you, and what you are to him. I think that's very important, is think about, what do you mean to him if he doesn't even want to date you? You know? Because like part of me with like my, like the egotistical side of me is thinking like, okay, well, if this guy doesn't want me, I don't want him. Why doesn't he want me? What's the reason that he doesn't want to date me? Because guess what? He's having his cake and eating it too, and it's not a good place to be unless you're cool with that. God, I'm such a steak. I literally flip so easily. Oh, I hope that was good. Okay, note to self. I guess we'll see how this podcast episode ends up and works out, but note to self, probably don't record when you're not in the mood to. Not that I wasn't in the mood to record. I just like, I'm feeling some type of way today. You know, I'm feeling stressed, anxious, scared even. Scared. I'm so dramatic. But yeah, I just did the 3 stories. It felt kind of short though. It felt like this is like really short because I have to start my camera every 20 minutes, like restart it because it doesn't record over 20 minutes. And I only have to do it twice. That's scary. Scary business. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. We'll see. We're learning. This is episode 3. I mean, come on, give me a break. I'm talking to myself. I need to give myself a break. You know what I mean? But yeah. So right into the pod. Leave your age. Leave as much detail as you'd like. I know these stories are kind of all over the place today, but as I get more and more write-ins, I'll be able to tailor them a little bit more to like have different episode themes. Kind of like last week was all about like not giving a shit what people think, figuring out your life, that type of thing. So the more people write in, the more I could personalize it each episode to where you could listen to the ones that apply to you, you know? Unless you're listening to all these and they don't apply to you, then, oh my God, you're my best friend. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, I'm doing St. Patty's tomorrow, going to Uncle Earl's. Really excited. Hope the weather doesn't like ruin it, you know? I'm like, I only step out once in a blue moon these days, especially with alcohol, and I'm stepping out tomorrow. I'm having a full day. I have 3 stops on my drinking tour tomorrow. So I really need things to work out, because one thing about me is I have anxiety going out now and drinking because of things that have happened in recent times. And if one thing goes wrong, it ruins my whole day. So like if I want to have a good day tomorrow, everything has to go right, because that's just how it is, you know? And that's okay. And if not, I'll come home. I'll just come home early and rest and recover and chill and watch the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay. I need a like outro. So let's see. Outro needs to be right into the pod. Thanks for listening. Follow me on social media. The podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube, please. Like, please subscribe to my YouTube, because I only have like 100 something subscribers, and I'm really just trying. I've been on my goal of posting 2 videos a week, one being the podcast video and one being another video. And it's a lot. YouTube is a lot. And like, I'm not very happy with like the quality that I'm posting on YouTube right now, but I'm trying to get there. I've just been really overwhelmed, if you can't tell. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're watching, I appreciate you all. Sorry if this episode was a flop. 3rd episode. 3rd time's not a charm, I guess. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.